Come on, guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Well, guys, you know what day it is. It's Friday, so you know that means the Story Time with Stock Market Steve live stream tonight, starting at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. You guys be there. Now, check this out. Let me jump on this story real quick. I seen this last night on my news feed, late last night, and I had to do this story, man. This is a story of senseless violence and just a total lack of respect for your fellow man. This gentleman up here, right here, is 67-year-old Florentino Hurtado. Now, this happened out there in North Houston last Saturday. And this man right here suffers from advanced stage dementia and Alzheimer's. This guy was brutally beaten by these two gentlemen right here. The fat dude is Trayvon Lockridge, and the dude next to him is DeRoderick Stevens. Both of these individuals are both incarcerated right now, and they assaulted this man. He suffered a fractured cheekbone, his stitches in 3 different places on his face, his eyes messed up, and he could have a brain injury. Now, I'm going to play you this video of what's, out there in the news. Just look. We'll come back.
Brutal beating in North Houston caught on camera, and now both men seen doing it are in jail. The victim, meanwhile, just make it worse, suffers from dementia and Alzheimer's. That's according to his family, and they believe that is what triggered the violent encounter. ABC 13 reporter Micah Hatfield live now. Micah, what is the family saying about how the victim is doing right now?
Well, Florentino Hurtado's daughter told me that he did have a moment in the hospital where he remembered what happened, and he questioned, why would someone do this to him? Since then, they say he has not remembered the attack. All he knows is that he's in pain. The last 2 years have been tough on the Hurtado family. Their father, 67-year-old Florentino Hurtado, was diagnosed with advanced stage dementia and Alzheimer's.
It's hard to see your own father become the way he has.
What happened to the patriarch of their family on Saturday only made it worse.
Christmas is a big deal in our family. We couldn't even celebrate.
Just days prior, he was brutally attacked outside of a North Houston meat market. Saturday evening around 5, Florentino and his wife went to a meat market on North Shepherd near Tidwell. He stayed in the car while she went in to get an ingredient for tamales. Florentino got out of the car and got disoriented, according to his daughter, which is common for him these days. He ended up pulling on the door handle of the car, and surveillance video captured what happened next. 2 men, now identified as Trayvon Lockridge and DeRoderick Stevens, come out and repeatedly punched and stomped on Florentino's head. The men were then seen leaving in the car.
And my dad's, you could see him stumble up and get up, and he was dazed, and you could tell he was obviously confused as well. He started wandering off towards the pawn shop.
Florentino, whose family says he weighs less than 100 pounds, has a broken cheekbone, a possible traumatic brain injury, numerous cuts, and a black eye.
A simple push, a simple go away, my dad would have walked away.
Not to mention, law enforcement says the men took his phone. Both men are now charged in the case.
It's hard to watch, to see someone have that aggression towards somebody, but the fact that it's our dad. He didn't deserve it. He really didn't deserve it.
The state asked for Lockridge's bond to be set at $1 million. Defense asked for only $3,000. It was set at $50,000. He's still behind bars. Stevens was out on bond for 5 other charges. His bond has not been set. In downtown, Micah Hatfield, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, guys, that's the news article, man, and I hope Florentino Hurtado makes a recovery. But I'm going to tell you something. That was a cowardly act, man. I don't like that. I don't like seeing stuff like that. For the simple fact of this, I got a grandfather. He's 96 years old. Now, granted, his mind might be going, from conversation I've had with him. I hope it's not. But I mean, They didn't know how old this man was, and they did this to him. One thing about us being men, we assess situations before it comes to fisticuffs or any type of physical altercation. If you notice, the one dude, DeAndre Stevenson, the small one, walked up to him and said something to him. Before he could really get an understanding of what was going on, here come this fat fuck Trayvon Lockridge coming around there just punching him. And the thing that made me mad, beside the brutal onslaught that man faced, he was looking around to make sure nobody was around so he could hit him again. He had him down in the thing nobody could really see. And he just was hitting that guy just to be hitting him. He could have pushed him, just like the daughter said, granddaughter. He could have pushed him and he'd have walked off. Why? What I don't understand is there's so many of us out here as people so ready to put our hands on somebody and take a pot shot at somebody when we can sit back and evaluate and see something's wrong. If you walked up on him the way he was, old as he was, they said he barely weighed 100 pounds, y'all. You seen he was old and he couldn't do nothing to you. He wasn't a risk to you. Why you hit him? You could have seen something was wrong when he, a lot of times when people have Alzheimer's and stuff like that, when you talk to them, they be just confused. They be in a state of confusion. You could see it. And the thing is with the first guy, DeRoderick Stevens, he could have seen that. Them couple of seconds he was talking, okay, something wrong with this guy. When he came by to swing on the guy, he should have stopped this boy. But nah, he backed off and watched it go down. So he's just as guilty. I wouldn't let these guys out of jail. I wouldn't give them no bond. They could have killed that man. They could have killed that man. That's a damn shame. You over there at a Mexican market or a Hispanic market fighting on this dude. And then another thing, people was driving and looking at it. You seen a younger person was beating the hell out of an old guy. Why nobody tried to do nothing? That's the thing. I'm not saying you got to jump out the car and be a hero, but you could have beat your horn around and went, hey man, leave that man alone. What's wrong with y'all? Nobody said nothing. Then they drove off. Like it was, man, you see him stumbling. He could have, listen, when you're old and you have problems with your mind, your reactions are different. He could have, while he was stumbling, he could have walked and fell and hit his head. He looked like he was going to take a dive walking in the middle of the street. He's supposed to be in the car. His wife come out the car. He not in the car, man. What if he had wandered out in the street after that ass whoop and then died? Man, this thing, man, the level of sensitivity that we have now as people for a fellow person is like beyond me. I would have never put my hand on that old dude. You would have seen something was wrong. Let me tell y'all a story real quick. And it's crazy. It just hit me. We have Kroger supermarkets out here. Some of y'all familiar with them. One time, a couple summers ago, I'm coming up Kroger's, right? I'm walking. It's a white couple in front of me, probably about 15 feet. I happen to cut my eye and I see this old black guy like wandering around, and the way he's moving, I'm like, okay, something's wrong. He's walking and then all of a sudden he drops his bag, and as he's walking, he starts to lean and he's falling. You know those things that you park up against? Those, cement things when you come to a parking spot, your tires go up against. He's stumbling. As fate would have it, y'all, this guy stumbled. Couldn't put his hands up because he was old and he was disoriented. He hit his head on that thing, bust his jaw wide open. He bled like somebody was pouring a bucket of water out. As a human being, I immediately jumped into action like, oh my God. I took my shirt off. I wrapped it around his head. He was still incoherent. I had the people call 911. We sat out there in that heat. The people, the couple that was with me tried to shield him with the heat, by taking their shirts and put it over top of him so the sun wouldn't get him until the ambulance arrived. Man, we got to start looking out for each other, man. For real, I don't mean to get emotional, but man, damn, you could have seen something was wrong with him. That's messed up. Saturday was, they were going to get their food and stuff to cook for Christmas dinner. Now he in the hospital. Look at his picture, y'all. Look at his picture. Christmas Day, you got to go in there and see your grandfather like that or your father over something that's stupid as a miscommunication. They could have seen him and slowed down their anger or surprise of what he was doing to see that something was not right with this man. Nah, chose to go the different route. I would never let them out of jail because they show insensitivity towards another human being on purpose. Fat dude Trayvon beating the hell out of him. The odds are just watching. You know he ain't had no win against that fat dude, but you let that happen. That could have been your grandfather on the floor. If that happened to him, y'all be the first ones up and on, why ain't nobody do nothing? Man, we need to think, man, as people. We need to think. This is wrong. It's wrong. And I hope they get the full extension of the law put down on them. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, man. When you see somebody that need help, man, you get your blessings from keeping it real. Look out for your fellow man out there.